What's good, people? This is about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, I have a question. Who has the stronger mindset? Zhang or Deontay Wilder? Now, let's start with Wilder. Wilder, after his last performance, of course, he wants people to, feel like he's coming back with a bang, coming back with a vengeance, right? So, pretty much, now he's going to have to come and deliver. Now, he says things about opponents like, I'll knock this guy out 2 rounds, 3 rounds. He acts really nonchalant about certain opponent, about any opponent, as if they're just not on his level. They're not in the same class, or, he's just that much better. Now, with Zhang, Malik Scott said they're going to take Zhang into deep waters, which means if that's the case, they're not trying to fight where they're being active. Now, if you're conserving energy, that means Zhang is conserving energy. It's not like if you're sitting there not punching, he's not punching, right? Unless you guys are both going to come in there and trying to not get hit to the point where you're not engaging, too much fear of the other guy's power type of thing. Now, regardless, as I said, I expect to see the same Wilder. But the mindset. When Wilder says he'll knock a guy out in 2 or 3 rounds, the same way he said about Joseph Parker, the same way his fan base was saying it, right? He found out, nah, it wasn't so. Parker wasn't there to lose. Parker came to win. Now, Wilder, on the other hand, in terms of, him being confident, this isn't about that. Okay, you can underestimate an opponent very easy. And this is why I say the same mistake he's making now, it's like he can't avoid an Anthony Joshua question or bringing up Anthony Joshua, because in his mind, I think it's his ego kicks in and he feels like if he avoids an Anthony Joshua conversation, that somehow AJ is getting the upper hand on him. Like he don't want people to think he's afraid of AJ or something. So, whatever. He just can't, hey, listen, one fight at a time. Anthony Joshua always says these things. He doesn't want to get caught up into, who's next after the opponent that's in front of him that he didn't even fight yet. So, you see what AJ went and then did to Otto Wallin. You see what he went and then did to Francis Ngannou. So, bottom line, it's like, okay, like he always says, one fight at a time. It doesn't matter. We can talk. What did he say when he fought Otto Wallin? He said, before he fought him, he said, all of this doesn't matter if I don't win against Wallin. All of this goes away. So I'm not focused on anybody other than Wallin. That's not only the correct answer, but that's the grown-up, mature answer. Okay? So when you bring somebody up or you just can't avoid commenting on a person's name that's brought up, it means that really basically deep down inside, that person's on your mind. That's why you can't just say, hey, listen, I'm not focused on Anthony Joshua. I'm focused on Zhang, and that's pretty much all I'm focused on right now. Wilder started off the press conference saying, hey, this might be my last dance, my last chance. Okay, so bottom line, you know what's at stake. Now, for him to say that, just to end up making the same mistake he made before, it just goes to show you where his mind is. So lessons are not being learned. Zhang, on the other hand, okay, let's look at him. They both lost to Parker. But look at how look at how Wilder took the loss as opposed to how Zhang took the loss. Now, for somebody to say, yeah, man, but everything was at stake, he lost $50 million. Exactly. He knew that before he got in the ring. So his performance, that's what he came there and what he brought that night. So, bottom line, doesn't matter what was on the line. You had what you had that night, and then everything changed with the excuses. So, Zhang versus when he when he fought Parker, Zhang didn't make a bunch of excuses. He wasn't sour about it. He just lost a fight. That's all. On to the next one. In fact, when it came time, when we got word that the Saudis were trying to get Deontay Wilder versus Zhang, the day we heard about it, the same very day that they did the interview. Well, Zhang had it basically. He was being interviewed. Zhang had already signed the contract, and mind you, we heard nothing from Team Wilder. So the only thing that we had heard Malik Scott say was he was more concerned about Wilder's mental health more than anything else. So believe me, there were conversations. Okay, there was things that were said and things he saw that he didn't like, and so now that Wilder's in the position he's in, the fight's on. Great, but mindset. What did Zhang tell Wilder? Don't overthink it. Just sign the contract. Let's make the fight. Okay, he'll say things like Wilder is dangerous. He's always dangerous because he has the right hand. So you always have to be careful, right? And he says, and you have to, you got to respect the power of his right hand. But I'm going to come and do my job, and I'm going to come after him. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to, I'm going to figure things out, and I'm going to come in there and I'm going to come after him. So yeah, it'll be a good fight. That's it. He's not promising all this big talk and trying to convince himself or the people no, we're just going to fight. That's all. If Zhang was making excuses and was sour about it, you could say, okay, well, they're similar in that sense, and this conversation I wouldn't even really be having, really. If I did, it would be more comical, because then you'd have two excuse makers. When Zhang fought Urkovic, okay, that was a tough fight. Notice something about Zhang. He doesn't bring fighters up. He doesn't bring fights up. He just answer the questions that's being asked. You don't hear him sour, bitter. I got to make an excuse as to why I lost or what happened. Now, the fans were saying something different. But, even if he feels he won the fight, whatever. Bottom line is, you don't hear Zhang bringing that shit up. You don't hear him, well, what happened was this and that, and, complaining. No, he just one fight at a time. On to the next one. This is how fights, the mindset of a fighter really should be. It's like you saw Anthony Joshua beat Otto Ali. On to the next one. You saw him beat Ngannou. On to the next one. But he's always been like that. So now, when you look at who these two guys getting ready to go ahead and fight, Zhang is in the same situation as Wilder's in. Age-wise, he's older, and pretty much this is more than likely like his last, big dance too in terms of a title shot. Not saying he won't get another shot at another, top level fighter. Like I said, people will call you out when they think that, okay, I got this guy figured out now. Things of that nature. But if you look at it, Zhang is pretty much calm, laid back, relaxed. And I think between the two, Zhang has the stronger mindset. I think he has a better, more down-to-earth mindset. That could also play a huge factor in this fight, because when you tell yourself, even to say, I'm going to take him into deep waters, right? Okay. If your game plan isn't working, now don't get me wrong. It's common sense that we've seen that Zhang has problems with stamina. But Wilder's style of fighting might not bring that out of him. And especially the fact he's talking about we're going to take him to deep waters, is like, so if Wilder plans on just moving, if he moves and use his jab, if he fights typical Wilder style, just sharper, try to be smart about it, not reaching for shots and doing things in a sloppy way, it could work. But mindset, I think that Zhang has a stronger mindset. Zhang is about less talk, more action. So if it comes down to who wants it more, which I believe that's what it's going to come down to, because it's like, man, if I quit, it's over. You understand what I mean? Or, hey, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to go out on my shield, man. I'm not going to quit. Which is what mindset? What mindset would either guy be in come fight night? If it comes down to that, if they get dropped and they're hurt, but I can get up, but do I want to get up? Like, who knows? I just think Zhang has a tougher mindset than Wilder. But on the other hand, fatigue will show you what you're made of. And if Wilder can take him into deep waters and get him tired, that's the best chance. He has that right there in terms of him winning a decision or getting a stoppage. Even if he gets the stoppage, you know, because of that, then you can say, hey, he executed his game plan and it worked, and job well done, plain and simple. But right now, just looking at both guys, I got to give Zhang the edge in his mindset. I believe he just has a stronger mindset than Wilder. And I think Wilder says a lot of these things to make himself believe it, to convince himself that he's going to do these things. Because truthfully, when you lose a fight and then you disappear a year and a half, 2 years, you lose again, disappear a year and a half, 2 years, it doesn't show a strong mindset. It shows weakness. And the fact that Wilder has pointed out a couple of times, I have a strong mind. Yeah, when you were winning against these C-level guys. But when you lose, that's when you disappear. And then when you start talking about you lost your love for the sport, you don't hear Zhang talking like that. Every fighter that was at the top at one point that you hear talking about, I don't know what these guys got to beat me with, I can't get up for these guys, or anything other than just, hey man, the better man won. That's a weakness. I don't care about them telling you they have a strong mind. That's a weakness. Not only is it a weakness, but it goes to show you vulnerability and the point where if you can break their will, like Wilder has showed that he'll go out on his shield and try to knock you out. But at the same time, that's the thing about Wilder. He falls apart and he gets careless. He may go in there and be just as fatigued, you know, as Zhang. And this is what I mean. We talking about mindset. It might come down to a battle of attrition, like who really wants it more, who has it in them to dig down deep. And to be honest with you, man, you know, if people think Zhang get him out of there early or Wilder in the decision, I'm like, wait a minute. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's more likely if it goes a decision, Zhang's going to win. And it's also more likely that between the two of them, Wilder, his punch resistance might not be the same. You know, Joseph Parker has a good punch, but he's not really like a devastating puncher, you know. But he's, you know, he has what he has. And Joseph Parker is more of a complete fighter. Like his strength is him being more of a complete fighter than it is him being a puncher. So let's not get fooled because Parker didn't put him down thinking that Zhang won't or he can't. Zhang hits a lot harder than Parker does. Zhang hits a whole lot harder than people give him credit for. They don't understand that. The dude is big, man, and he has weight behind his shot. Anyway, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.